evening. Welcome to the special meeting of the Putnam County Legislature called by the clerk at the request of the chairman for the adoption of the 2025 budget. Tonight is October 29, 2024. Please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask Legislator Elder to lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. I ask Legislator Advisio to say the legislative prayer.
We seek blessings on the tasks before us. Bless our efforts with clear insight, our deliberations with wisdom, our work with clarity and accuracy, and our decisions with impartiality.
Amen. Amen. Roll call, please.
District 1, Legislator Montgomery. Here. District 2, Legislator Golden. Present. District 3, Legislator Advisio.
Present.
District 4, Legislator Nasarino. District 5, Legislator Elmer.
Here.
District 7, Legislator Castellano.
Present.
District 8, Legislator Sage.
Present.
District 9, Legislator Crowley. District 6, Chairman Montgomery.
Present. I've been asked to read a couple of statements. The first one is from Legislator Crowley. It is with deep regret that I inform you of a death in my family. I will therefore be unable to attend both the Audit and Administration Committee and the adopt the 2025 budget meetings this week. I appreciate your understanding during this difficult time. And this is from Legislator Nasarino, asking this to be read into the record. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend tonight's special meetings. I am especially disheartened to miss the vote to adopt the budget, which I support. I am under a doctor's care for an acute eye infection. This physical impairment prohibits my attendance this evening. While this should have been an easy budget, it turned out to be the hardest during my tenure. The legislature worked very hard to act on some of the disparities contained within. We gave careful consideration to all requests and moved to include measures which the majority felt are essential to good government. We had anticipated and expected many of these requests to encumbered in the tentative budget. While the tentative budget looked lean, it lacked many essential allocations needed for good services and quality of life. I wish to extend a special thank you to our legislative staff, our county auditor, Michelle Sharkey, and our Commissioner of Finance, Michael Lewis, all of whom did an outstanding job and worked tirelessly during this lengthy budget process. I hope that the lessons are learned from this experience and conditions of communication improve in 2025. We'll move on to the pre-filed resolutions. So this is from the Budget and Finance Committee, which is composed of all members of the legislature. Item 4A is the Health Department. It's a New York City DEP grant to adjust revenue. It's a total difference of $1,259. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4B is the Youth Bureau Pegasus program. It's to adjust to proper account, move $1,000 from promotional materials to miscellaneous. So zero difference. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 4C is Mental Health Administration. OASIS abatement funds to correct the revenue, reduce revenue from $284,153 to $218,179. It's a bookkeeping situation, just to clean the books up. It's a difference of $65,974. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4D is Mental Health Administration, leasing, vehicle leasing rental. Increase from 1 vehicle to 2 vehicles as requested. It's a change from $8,000 to $16,560. It's a difference of $8,560. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4E is Office for Disabled, computer equipment. Not covered by a grant. It's moved to DGS and designate for Office for Disabled. It's just moving money in lines. It's a difference of $0. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4F is Social Services Department Administration. Computer equipment is increased from $0 to $47,500. It's a restoration to the requested amount. It's a difference of $47,500. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 4G, Social Services Department Administration, chargeback contracts, increase to requested 2 special patrol officers from $68,632 to $82,076. It's a difference of $13,444. $13,444. Discussion. Legislator Bowman.
Thank you, Chairman. It's actually a wash because in 4JJ, it's, that's where this thing comes from, so it's really a wash, but not, there's no difference in 13,000.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Item 4H is Social Services Department. Juvenile delinquent and PINs moved to proper account. It's moved miscellaneous amount of $153,212 to contracts. It's a 0 difference. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. 4I, Social Services Department. Putnam Workforce Partnership, it's correct revenue accounts, WIA Adult CFEA 17.258 and WIA Dislocated Worker. It's a total difference, it's a positive difference of $16,261. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4J is County Clerk Contingency Fund. 2.75% COLA increase, move out of sub-contingency. It's in the amount of $4,391. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 4K, Sheriff Contingency Fund. 2.75 cost of living adjustment increase, move out of sub-contingency. It's in the amount of $5,043. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 4L, Coroners Contingency Fund, 2.75% cost of living adjustment increase, move out of sub-contingency. Discussion. It's a total amount for the 3 coroners is $2,280. All in favor? Aye. Item 4M, Legislature Audited Contingency Fund. Legislators, 2.75% cost of living adjustment increase, move out of sub-contingency. Discussion. It's in the amount of $12,467. Discussion. Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. Currently, we still have 2 contracts that are out, PCSA and CSEA, and I don't feel comfortable as a legislator to support this until these contracts are settled, so I'll be voting no for this.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to separate the vote.
In what way?
We have the legislators and the legislative stipend included in the same vote.
Well, the stipend is attached to the legislators' salaries by charter. If you change one, the other changes.
Is this the chairman's stipend?
Yes.
So I would like to vote on the legislators' increase and separate the legislative stipend for the chairman from the vote. I don't understand why that's not possible.
Legislative Council, is it possible to separate those things?
The rule says that a motion to divide, a request to divide the question shall be granted as long as it's feasible, unless the auditor.
Chairman's stipend is
I don't think you can do that.
Makes sense, because it's tied to the
I
charter.
don't know the answer to that.
So,
Defer.
yeah, that's unfortunate, maybe that's a charter change I can look at.
Any other discussion? Just to Legislator Ruhlman's comment, we don't negotiate contracts, it's up to the county executive, and if the county executive, who's been there almost 2 years, hasn't negotiated the contracts, that's on him, not on us. Roll call vote, please.
Legislator Adenizio.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley. Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
No.
Legislator Montgomery.
No.
Legislator Nasarino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Yaki.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 4N, Legislature Auditing Contingency Fund, Legislative Staff 2.75% COLA increase, move out of sub-contingency. This is for legislative staff, $10,368. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
4O, Legislature Auditing Contingency Fund, County Auditor and staff, 2.75% COLA increase, move out of sub-contingency. This is Auditing Department, $9,163. Discussion. My 2 cents on this is when I submitted the budget, as all the chairmen have done in the years that I've been here, we put a request in to the county executive to add whatever cost of living adjustment he was going to give, the percentage that he was going to give to management, and apply it to the legislative staff, the auditing staff, and the legislature. That was not done, and that's why we're going through this exercise. All in favor? Aye. And 4P, County Executive Contingency Fund, 2.75% cost of living adjustment increase, move out of sub-contingency. It's in the amount of $5,211. Discussion. Legislator Goldman.
Thank you, Chairman. Same scenario as 4M. We have 2 contracts outstanding, CSEA and PCSA, and I will not support this until these contracts are settled.
Any other discussion? Go ahead.
Legislator Goldman makes a great point here. This is where the county executive is the main person doing the negotiation with CSCA. It was in the original budget for us that was submitted by the county executive, so can't disagree with what Legislator Goldman just said.
Any other discussion? I agree with Legislator Goldman. Roll call vote, please.
Legislator Adenizio.
No.
Legislator Castellano.
No.
Legislator Crowley. Legislator Elmer.
No.
Legislator Goldman.
No.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Nasarino. Legislator Sage.
No.
Chairman Yaki.
No.
Motion fails.
Item 4Q, Veteran Service Agency temporary increase to the requested amount. It's a difference of $16,148. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4R is the Veterans Home. It's to zero out the natural gas, electric, and security monitoring and rental lines, and that'll go into the DGS. So it's a positive impact here of $12,200. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. 4S is the Sheriff's Department. Communications, Crisis Intervention Teams Grant, federal aid to reduce the revenue. It's in the amount of $6,890. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 4T is the Sheriff's Department Communications Threat Assessment Management Grant. It's to correct the revenue. It's a positive difference of $18,370. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 4U is the Sheriff's Department Civil Division, increased temporary to requested amount. It's in the amount of, the difference is in the amount of $1,860. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
4B, Sheriff Patrol Services Grant, Services State, Police Traffic Services Program, Traffic Safety Grant, and Buckle Up Grant. Adjust revenue and overtime to reflect awarded grants. It's a difference of $0. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
6W, Sheriff Security Services, increased temporary to account for special police officers' hourly rate increase. It's a difference of $44,137. Discussion.
Question. Does this affect the charge back to the schools? This is, I mean, I know this indicated recovering county buildings. I'm just wondering if it involves the SPOs for the schools, their rate.
I can't answer that.
Okay, that's okay. It dawned on me. I can get the answer at another time. Right.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4X is the district attorney, increased salary from $5,000 to $8,000, no proposed stipend of $5,000. It's a difference of $3,230. Discussion. Legislator Bowman.
Thank you, Chairman. This is an interesting position. This individual works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So they literally have to be local all the time, and they, it's an interesting job where if something happens in the middle of the evening, they have to respond. I will be supporting this for that reason.
This is for the Chief Assistant District Attorney. Any other discussion? She's doing a great job. All in favor? Aye. Item 4Y is the Health Department Nursing. Requested reclass to supervising public health nurse of $7,000 and upgrades for all nurses, $63,560, and movement into sub-contingency. It's a total of $70,560. Discussion. Legislator Bowman.
Thank you, Chairman. Currently, we have 3 vacancies in the nursing department. They can't find anyone to fill the positions. They believe, the personnel department, that it's a salary that is causing this problem. So I'll be supporting this to hopefully get nurses and bring them up to what the current marketplace is.
Any other discussion? Legislator Montgomery.
I'd like to also say that I hope we can move this out of sub-contingency as soon as possible and into the budget, and so we can hire some nurses for, as we heard from the supervising senior nurse, we will be cutting programs if we don't address this soon, and I just hope we don't have any catastrophic events like COVID before we can move this out of sub-contingency.
Legislator Rutland.
I'm supporting this, but in addition to the pay disparity, I believe that one of the reasons we can't hire a lot of positions is because our medical contribution is too high.
Any other discussion? Putnam County residents rely on our health department for the overall health and well-being of our population. It's a shame that this wasn't in the original budget. These nurses are a vital part of our health department, and this really should have been left to the legislature. This should have been done as part of the budget process and presented to us, not us taking $70,000, because there are going to be comments made about the money that we're putting into the budget tonight that we're voting on, and I think it was reckless to not have this in the budget when first proposed. With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Item 4Z is mental health. Oasis Abatement Youth Director, split with Youth Bureau and DSS, it's an increase from $6,192 to $11,192. It's covered by the Oasis Abatement Funds. It's a difference of $5,383. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4AA, Mental Health, Oasis Abatement, reclass to Director of CAC, split with CAC and DSS Administration, increase from $11,729 to $16,729. It's covered by the Oasis Abatement Funds. It's in the amount, the difference is $5,383. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4BB is Mental Health Oasis Abatement Fiscal Manager, split with Mental Health and DSS Administration. It's an increase from $7,540 to $12,717. It's covered by the Oasis Abatement Funds. It's a difference of $5,573. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 4CC is Mental Health, Oasis Abatement Revenue. 100% funded for changes to Youth Director, Director of Child Advocacy, and Fiscal Manager. There's a positive difference of $16,399. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. And 4DD is the Bureau of Emergency Services Public Information Officer stipend moved to sub-contingency. It's a zero difference. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Bureau of Emergency Services Confidential Secretary Salary Adjustment, increase from $2,500 to $7,500. It's a difference of zero. I'm sorry, it's a difference of $5,383. I apologize. Discussion. Consider movement.
Thank you, Chairman. A few years ago, we had a person in that position, the town clerk, and that position was eliminated. So ultimately with this, we'll still be saving money by not having an individual in that position that we replaced a few years ago. I will be supporting this.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4FF, Sheriff's Department, Bureau of Criminal Investigation, Deputy Sheriff, Criminal Investigator. It's to restore a requested position. It's in the amount of $187,300. Discussion. Legislator Goulden.
Thank you, Chairman. Today we had an interesting situation in Putnam Valley and northern Westchester, and this kind of position is needed to do the investigating for exactly what happened today. So because of this, I will be supporting this.
Legislator Montgomery.
I too will be supporting this. I think we need to give the sheriff the tools that he needs, and people working under him who can do this type of work. I have to say I think it's very interesting, not particularly with this position, but positions that we eliminated and took out of the budget during a former sheriff's reign that we've put in over the years. It's kind of ironic and funny and political, and it should never happen in public safety.
Any other discussion? Legislator Sage.
I liked when the sheriff came into our committee meeting, he discussed and made a compelling argument, he discussed the facts and figures and the need for this particular position. There is an increased caseload for all of these officers, these investigators, and I'm fully supportive of this added position.
Anyone else? Sheriff McConville has shown himself to be a fiscally responsible sheriff. He's gotten control of the overtime issues that we had at the Sheriff's Department. And when he comes forward with a request like this, it's for the safety of our citizens here in Putnam County. We all read the newspapers, we all know what's going on around us, and sooner or later it's going to encroach into Putnam County. If we need more personnel in Putnam County to protect our citizens, we need to support that. I'm disappointed that he made this request to the county executive. At our personnel committee meeting, we asked the deputy county executive if there was a reason. There was no clear explanation as to why this was not put in the budget. So when people see the numbers that we're putting in the budget tonight, this is part of it. Legislator Montgomery made a comment about that we cut personnel. I've been here 8 years. We never cut personnel in the sheriff's office. Never. Did we not give him everything he requested? He was not fiscally responsible. I don't think that, I think that's the reason why the previous sheriff didn't get everything he wanted. This is a minor, not a minor ask, but this is an ask that was well defended and presented by the sheriff, and I'm going to be supporting it. So with that, roll call vote, please.
Legislator Adamczyk.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley. Legislator Elman.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Nasarino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Yaki.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 4GG is the Sheriff's Department. Amend salaries of captains, correction captain, lieutenants, and undersheriff, keeping a pay differential similar to that of resolutions number 177 and 178 of 2014. It's a total difference of $63,310. This is in keeping with a promise that was made 10 years ago by resolution of the legislature. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 4HH, County Executive. Confidential Secretary salary adjustment increase from $4,437 to $6,192. It's a difference of $1,889. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
4II is the Law Department. Senior Deputy County Attorney removed $5,000 salary adjustment. It's a positive difference of $5,383. Discussion. Legislator Montgomery.
I'd like to make a motion to add the $5,000 back into the budget.
Is there a second?
I'll second
Okay, discussion.
It appears that this is retaliatory. We've not done this in any other position across the board in the county budget, in the personnel budget. In fact, we've added more than what was requested to some of the salaries. So I just think it looks really petty and very retaliatory just because of a conflict that some people in the legislature have with the law department. I think some of the questions that this legislature had prior to the committee meeting were addressed and answered clearly, and I'm happy with those answers, and I hope that you guys will not come across as being what this appears to be and put the money back in the budget and give this salary increase to this person.
For the record, this was a merit raise proposed by the county attorney, who, by the way, didn't attend any of our meetings. We haven't seen him since May. This is for an employee who's not a full-time employee, who gets health benefits, and does not work out of the county attorney's office. I don't feel this person deserves a merit raise, and that's why I put in for it. I put in for the reduction. Legislator Singh.
Just for the record, this particular employee is getting a COLA, cost of living adjustment,
Correct.
just not a merit raise.
Correct. Anybody else before we get back to the legislative Montgomery? Anybody else? Okay.
It does appear to be retaliatory. I mean, if anybody could retaliate against this particular position, it could be me because of the attack on me during the asylum seeker migrant issue that was clearly, came from this attorney, and she did a great job. And I think we're foolish to not use this person's expertise because they're a great attorney and just, yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
the
we
retaliatory.
have a motion and a second. We're going to vote on that amended motion. Roll call vote, please.
Legislator Adamizio.
No.
Legislator Castellano.
No.
Legislator Crowley. Legislator Elmer.
No.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Nasarino. Legislator Sage.
No.
Chairman Yaki.
No.
Motion fails.
Back to 4II, discussion on that pre-filed resolution.
I mean, as you stated, the county attorney did not come to the meeting to advocate for a raise for the staff in any way, shape, or form.
Nor
I
did
didn't
he,
hear any arguments for it whatsoever. So I can't justify a raise, a merit raise for somebody who I don't even have justification for.
nor did he send anybody to the meeting. Roll call vote, please.
Legislator Adamizio.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley. Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
No.
Legislator Montgomery.
No.
Legislator Nasarino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Yaki.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 4JJ, adjustments from Finance Commissioner, correct revenues and appropriations to various accounts. Any discussion? All in favor? 4KK, adjustments from DGS Commissioner, properly classify leased vehicles in the Health Department. The difference is zero, just moving some money around. Discussion. All in favor? 4LL, County Clerk. Confidential Secretary, salary adjustment increase from $4,263 to $6,022, a difference of $1,894. It was to keep the parity of what we did with the county executive's confidential secretary. Discussion. All in favor? 4MM, Legislature Administrative Assistant, increased salary of $2,500 proposed by Legislator Nasarino. It's a difference of $2,691. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. 4NN, Contingency Fund, $2,500 stipend for second public information officer, split position, placing sub-contingency. It was proposed by Legislator Nasarino. It's a difference of $2,500. Discussion. All in favor? 400, Department of Public Works, confidential secretary, salary increase of $2,500 proposed by Legislator Adamizio. It's in the amount of $2,691. Discussion. All in favor? And 4PP is the libraries, restored to requested amount, increase of $17,100, moved from sub-contingency, proposed by Legislator Adamizio and amended by Legislator Montgomery. It's a difference of zero. Discussion. All in favor? Item 4QQ is the Putnam Arts Council. It's a county contribution. It's to move to sub-contingency in the amount of $13,993. It was proposed by Legislator Elmer. Discussion. Legislator Montgomery.
We're moving it from sub-contingency to the budget, or out of the budget to sub-contingency, sorry.
We're moving it to sub-contingency.
So, I hope that some of the legislators had an opportunity to speak to the Putnam Arts Council. There were a lot of things suggested during our committee discussion on this. Quite honestly, I think the Putnam Arts Council and the Executive Director, Joyce Pacone, deserves an apology. Things directly said were money laundering. It was suggested that there may have been some impropriety that would, definitely that comment does mar the reputation of the Putnam Arts Council, who works very hard. They have a very, very rigorous process by which this money gets re-granted. It's quite cumbersome. We actually have been given, the information about how that process works. They come before us every year to discuss their granting process and who gets the money. As I said before in my pitch for the arts, it would be ridiculous for us not to support the arts. The employment in the arts and culture has surged in the Hudson Valley. It is an engine, probably right now, maybe one of the only economic drivers in growth for this area. We should be looking at opportunities to better support arts and cultural organizations. Our young people are leaving the county in droves. This type of support for the arts brings them back. It gives them a place to land. We have working artists and arts organizations that do revitalize our communities. And I just think the comments made during the committee meeting were wrong. And again, I would like to make a motion to move the originally requested amount of $15,000 back into the budget for the Putnam Arts
Is
Council.
there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion.
So we're discussing moving, not the 13.9 you're talking about, 15
To the regular
to
budget.
the regular budget.
Discussion.
Again, if I may, if you recall that meeting, the comments that were made, there was no basis for the comments.
That's
It was akin to.
point of order. We're talking about moving the money. Those comments are appropriate when we vote on the final motion.
Maybe voting on the motion and move it in.
Just through the chair, just
Yes.
so everybody understands what we're doing right here. The money that was, is the county contribution, it was put into sub-contingency. No. We're voting. It's in sub-contingency right now.
We're voting to put it into sub-contingency. That was the original motion, pre-filed resolution. Legislator Montgomery has asked that we move 15,000 from the budget to Putnam Arts Council. I got that right? Okay. I'm opposed to that. I'm okay with legislator Elner's proposal, and then the Arts Council can come to us and get the money next year. I'm not opposed to the arts. I'm not opposed to giving them the money, but they can come to us next year. Yes.
If we continue to, as legislators, make comments that are degrading toward our organizations in this county, it's much like what we did during the agricultural district conversation, insinuating that they were doing something wrong. They were within their rights to do and file an application. So the comments that were made, that some of the legislators made toward the Putnam Arts Council with nothing to base it on, no proof, no evidence, instead of going to the Putnam Arts Council and asking them directly what their process is and where the money went, it's very clear. As I said, they work very hard. They've been around for a very long time. The process by which this grant opportunity is given to other organizations throughout the county is very rigorous. They're audited. So I can't see why we would put $13,000, $993 in sub-contingency. They've come before this. So they're one of the only organizations that comes before us over and over again.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Legislator Edmiston.
No.
Legislator Castellano.
No.
Legislator Crowley. Legislator Elmer.
No.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Mascherino. Legislator Sage.
No.
Chairman Yawkey.
No.
Motion fails.
Thank you. Getting back to the original motion, 4Q Q. Any discussion? Legislator Elmer.
I had the privilege of speaking with Joyce Putnam, and my comments, the way Legislator Montgomery described them, were not correct. Putnam Arts Council did absolutely nothing wrong. I brought to their attention where they were taken advantage of. And now that they are aware of this, steps are going to be taken to protect the funds. Because of the timeliness of this, the best way was to put money in sub-contingency. I have full faith that all this money will be restored at a later time. I and Legislator Sage spoke at length with Mrs. Pacone, and we're working things out so that they will be protected and everybody else will be protected. Once again, the Arts Council did nothing wrong. One of the recipients did.
Legislator Sage.
So the Putnam Arts Council is in my district. I've been working with Joyce Putnam for many, many years. My kids, my children, my adult 20-year-old children, went to the Putnam Arts Council as children and took classes. I'm fully supportive. In fact, I would like to increase their funding. But I do respect the process here. I think that the Putnam Arts Council will receive full funding. However, I think that we should look into this a little bit deeper, and I think that I would respect Legislator Elmer's discussion of this, and we did speak with Joyce McComb regarding this, and she's fully understood, and we did let her know that we are fully supportive of her organization and the grant process.
Legislator Montgomery.
I did look into it deeper, and the money that was granted to the organization in question has receipts attached to it and a contract, and that money that the Putnam Arts Council gave to that organization was in fact used for something appropriate. And so what they've been accused inappropriately of in money laundering, and those were the words used at the committee meeting, I actually listened to it, the suggestion was just slandering this organization. And we continue to do it, like insinuating that there's still some impropriety, that something went wrong. The grant process went as it should. It went as it was explained to us. The grant was given to this organization. They used it for drumming. Those receipts are there. The contract is there. If you want to look into it further, you should do that before you comment and make the whole public wonder, what did this great organization that we've been supporting all these years, what did they do wrong?
Nothing.
Just like the farmers, what are they doing wrong? We're just instilling fear in these organizations that have provided arts and culture to our community for all these years. It's just wrong.
I'm going to comment. What's wrong is to mischaracterize what happened at the agricultural district had nothing to do with this, and you're mischaracterizing it. Nobody accused any of those applicants of doing anything wrong. We're just asking them to abide by the rules that we didn't even know existed up until this year. Legislator Sage, you have something?
I was just going to say the same thing. There's nothing, the only person who's accused of saying bad things about the Arts Council is Legislator Montgomery, who keeps reiterating something that never happened. What we're trying to do is simply fund them, but it does deserve further discussion.
Legislator Elmer.
All we're going to do is provide additional protections so everybody's happy.
Roll call vote, please.
Just so the public's, oh, I'm sorry, Jay.
Go ahead.
So the public understands, you're not taking money away from them. They will be receiving $13,993 at a later date.
They're going to come and request
They're
it.
going to come,
Correct.
right, exactly.
Roll call vote, please.
Legislator Adams.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowell. Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
No.
Legislator Montgomery.
No.
Legislator Nasrino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Young.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Item number 5 is other business. Anybody have any other business? Legislator Castellano.
I'd like to make a motion for a public information officer stipend for the sheriff's department. We did the same for the county executive's office and the health department earlier. I think it will be fair that the sheriff's department who has a public information officer, we give them the $2,500 stipend, put it in such contingency if in fact it's needed, the sheriff's department can come forward to the legislature next year and can get reimbursed. It would be fair, since it's a public information officer, for both the county executive, the health department, and also the sheriff's department. I'd like to make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by legislator Iannacio. Discussion. Legislator Goldman.
Thank you, Chairman. I will be supporting this because a position like this is very important. 11:30 last night, there was an incident in Somers that went into Putnam County, and I received 3 robocalls basically from midnight until the situation was resolved around 10 o'clock, I believe. So this individual worked overtime, I'm sure, working, those hours. So I would be supporting this because you never know what can happen, and when things happen, it's always not during 9 to 5 or 8 to 4. It's always, time you don't want it to happen.
Any other discussion? I agree with legislator Castellano. I think that, if we're doing it for other departments, we have somebody in the sheriff's office who's performing that duty. We're putting it in sub-contingency, and we can hash that out next year. Roll call vote, please.
Legislator Iannacio.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowell. Legislator Elman.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Masserino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Lee.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Any other business? All right. That's it with other business. We're now going to take a little recess to calculate the offset changes to the budget. So we're going to turn it over to our auditor. We're not, don't, we don't need a motion for recess. We're just going to take a 2-minute break.
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion to recess. Second. All in favor?
Aye. This
All right, back in session. Item number 6 is the offset changes to the budget. The proposal, I'll make a motion to increase the sales tax revenue estimate by $269,718 and decrease the contingency fund, the general contingency fund, by $275,000. That gives us the offset to change for the changes that were made tonight. There would be no change to the tax levy and no change to the tax rate. So I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Can you just repeat those numbers again, please?
Sure. We're increasing the estimated sales tax revenue by $269,718. We're taking $275,000 from the general contingency fund. And that'll offset the changes that were made, approved tonight.
534,718.
Discussion. With no discussion, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Legislator Andrewes.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley. Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Mastrino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Young.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Item number 7 is the approval of the budget adoption. This is the approval of the 2025 budget resolutions and resolution adopting the budget for the fiscal year 2025 commencing January 1st, 2025, and making appropriations for the operation of the county government and establishing rates of compensation for officers and employees for the fiscal year 2025. That is 7A. Let's stick with 7A, which is the approval of the 2025 budget resolutions. This is pre-filed. This doesn't need to be moved and seconded, correct? Okay, so I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. 7A. Roll call vote, please.
Legislator Andrewes.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley. Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yeah.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Mastrino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Young.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item 7B is the resolution adopting the budget for the fiscal year 2025. I'll make this motion commencing January 1st, 2025, making appropriations for the operation of the county government and establishing rates of compensation for officers and employees for the fiscal year 2025. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Well, I would like to say thank you to the legislative staff, our auditor, Michelle Sharkey, and her staff, Commissioner Mike Lewis. Thank you for your hard work. This has been many months leading up to this past month. I give credit to all the legislature, and thank you for your time and effort into this budget. This process has been made difficult unnecessarily, in my opinion. I feel terribly for some of the outside agencies that were asked to come in and make presentations. They were given level funding and then told to speak with the legislature to fight over $75,000 that was put into sub-contingency. Also got some correspondence that said that there was not enough communication between the legislature and the county executive and the administration. The administration did make available during committee meetings the deputy county executive. Unfortunately, he was unable to answer important questions that were given to him. The role of the county executive is to create the budget and October 1st hand it to us. It's not collaborative after that. It's not collaborative at all, actually. That's why we have two branches of government. It's for him to make a decision on the budget, and then we work on making amendments from there. And I don't know what's getting lost in translation here. This was much more difficult than it really needed to be. I'm very proud of this budget. I think that we've done quite a bit in the last month. We've made Putnam County healthier by providing money for the nurses in the health department, and we've made Putnam County safer by giving the sheriff additional personnel to help with investigations. So with that, I would make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
We need to vote on this.
I'm sorry. A roll call vote on the item.
Legislator Edmund.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowder. Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Gould.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Mascherino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Yasi.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Good night.